In this video, we'll test the chatbot from the perspective of the end user, make some adjustments, and finally look at how to export and import our chatbot. From the Try It Out panel, the chatbot greets us. So let's say, "Hi Florence." We get the right response. Now let's try, "Do you deliver on Sundays?" A bit generic, but the response covers the question. Let's thank Florence. Good. Now let's ask for recommendations for anniversaries. It wants to know if it's our anniversary. Good. Let's say yes. We're asked about the gender of our partner. When we enter female, we get the expected recommendation. We can thank the bot again. When we enter CU, we get a nice message back. This plausible interaction between the user and the chatbot was very successful. Now let's test a simple occasion with "I'd like flower suggestions for birthdays." We're good here. Let's try a relationship now. These two worked quite well for us. But what happens when we introduce two entities? Will they be prioritized the way we want? Let's enter "Any flower suggestions for a sick friend?" Not perfect. I think we need to give priority to the hospital flower considerations over the fact that the person on the receiving end is a friend. More generally, I think it's fair to consider special occasions to be a higher priority than relationships as far as the flower choice is concerned. Working under that assumption, we can fix this by moving the Relationship Suggestions node below the Simple Occasion node. We do so, you have seen it before, by clicking on the three dots icon, selecting Move, then selecting the target node, and finally by specifying that it should go below the node we selected. We do so by removing the existing jump and adding a new one. As we did before, we're jumping straight at the condition, because at this point, we're still processing the user input and we don't need further input from the user. When we test again, we see that rearranging the nodes has done the trick for us. Occasions have now higher priority. As a sanity test, we can check that relationship questions are still handled properly by testing with flower suggestions for friends. We are in good shape, but there is a glaring omission in the scenarios that our chatbot can handle. Yes, it can handle relationships, it can handle simple occasions, and can even handle complex ones where one or two follow-up questions are required. But what happens if we don't specify either an occasion or relationship in our flower suggestion request? Let's test this by simply entering "I'd like flower suggestions." We get an error because none of the child nodes of flower suggestions can handle an input without relationship or occasion. What can we do about it? I'll show you one way to solve it. I created a node that acts as an anything else node, but it does so not in the main list of nodes, but in the list of flower suggestion children. It's at the bottom and its condition is always true, so this node will be executed anytime the flower suggestion's intent is detected, but none of the sibling nodes above were a match for the input. Since the user didn't tell us in this node, we want to ask if it's for a special occasion. Then we'll have two child nodes to handle the yes and no scenarios. If the answer is no, then we ask to know which relationship does the user have with the flower receiver. From there, we jump to the Relationship Suggestions node, specifically the Wait for User Input type of jump, because we are waiting for the user to give us an answer. For the Yes Child node, we ask which occasion. We want to jump to the first node that handles special occasions, and that happens to be Valentine's gender question. Again, when selecting the type of jump, I chose User Input because we're waiting for an answer from the user. If that first node is not a match, the rest of the sibling nodes are tried in order until one does. In a truly worst case scenario, we end up back to this fallback is special occasion question node, which will pose the question again. Let's try it out and see if it worked. Great, it worked as expected. When you make changes that could have an impact on your chatbot, it's always worth doing extra testing to ensure that no side effects have been introduced. Before doing some drastic changes, it's also helpful perhaps to take a snapshot of your workspace. Let me show you how. From the workspace area, click on the three-dot icon for your workspace. You'll see the option to download the workspace as a JSON file. You can import these workspace JSON files at any time by clicking on the import icon next to the create button within workspaces. Here you can choose a file. When you click the import button, a new workspace is created with all the intents, entities, and dialog nodes you previously created. If you end up with a duplicate, you can always use the delete option to destroy the workspace. In the lab section of this module, you'll use the import functionality to quickly recreate the chatbot that we have created so far.